Lovely. Stream is starting soon. Very soon. Now I invite you to come in peacefully to this space. Allow your heart open to nature, or in a garden. Welcoming. We're going to discuss today all about heart opening, successes, strengths, and struggles. I'll take you through some of the well-known struggles, some of my own personal struggles as well. And opening the heart. And we're going to do a little bit of fun things as well. Made it so that you donate an amount, I will do some sound healing, ASMR, or some light language meditation, or you can also get a personal reading with me today. But otherwise, we're just going to talk about the heart. Be as authentic and real about our struggles and successes as possible, because both are important to talk about. Get yourself some tea or drink. Got some chamomile and lavender. Just coming from this space in nature, imagining this is somewhere we can all connect authentically, away from the struggles and the pains of the world, monetarily, health-wise, religiously, all of these constructs that can help or hinder us. We can just disconnect and find a pure space in nature where things are simple and steady. And I can hear the breeze that goes by us peacefully and calmly. We can feel the earth beneath our feet as we connect with Gaia's love. You can connect with the water, peaceful, tranquil, rushes of water, back and forth. And we can also connect with the sun, the warmth of the fire from the sun. Have it surround us in white light. Have it connect us to that pure light within. And feel all of our senses come alive, become awake with all of these beautiful divine aspects of consciousness that are so mundane and so simple that we forget about them and their power and their potency to lift us up. And so grounding in to feet again with the earth, calling in that sacred space of ether all around us as we begin our discussion all about the heart today. Hello everybody. How are you doing? Let me know in the comments how you're doing. You see Abel just asleep in the back here. So today's stream I'm hoping is going to be something that can facilitate healing for us that are in need of some healing. Firstly, most importantly, I'm going to discuss with you some of the traps we get caught up in with the mind, with the emotions that hold us back, that block us from receiving the love that we deserve. So I'm definitely have better days, I will tell you. I hope your day is going better than mine. I fire up. Yes, please do. Hello Amaresh. Hello Praxit. Hello Peggy. Hello Moon Healing. It's wonderful to see you all. I am gonna make that a thing. Every stream we go through the portal of nature to meet together in sacred space, because that feels like it's needed right now. And we're also going to end the stream, excuse me while I talk through tears. We're also going to end the stream with a very calming aurora borealis, with some frogs and water sounds and all the good stuff. So at any point today when I'm talking about heart opening and the struggles that go with that, I'm also going to try my best to flip that completely on its head and talk about the successes and the strengths that we can find with opening the heart, allowing ourselves to express exactly as we are, where we are, knowing that when we balance those places, on the other side of that is so much joy and beauty that maybe we haven't felt in a long time, or for a while. But I encourage you to share today anything that you feel you want to share. This is a safe space, but I know how it goes. I see you all, and I see that you really try to share, even just through this little portal here. And I see how hard that is, because I go onto other people's streams, and it takes a lot of courage. So my courage is coming from the fact that I just feel like this is my therapy as well. Is being able to guide this heart space with you all. But also maybe we're going to do some fun things today. Let's see. Some sound healing with the singing bowl I have to my right here. And maybe some light language meditation. And maybe some readings. We'll see. I'm gonna let that be up to you guys. But if anyone is really wanting to ask any questions during today, then please do. Try my best to answer them and go through with you what this heart-opening thing is all about, the struggles and the successes that go along with being human. So, hi Tiger Guy, hi guys, Shivana. Hi Mike, I love it, nice to see you. I think I'll just talk with you about some of my biggest struggles when it comes to opening the heart. And actually this here, you see me expressing this space, is actually already a type of heart opening. But I will tell you that when I go through the struggle side of opening the heart, it looks very numb. Like I can't move or speak, articulate myself. So we're already on the other side of that for me right now, because I'm able to actually speak and express at the same time. So we're already a step forward. And by the end of today's stream, we'll be another step ahead. This is something that, for me anyway, I find it difficult to accept, but the heart opening that I'm going through, that I think many of us are going through, reaching new levels of opening the heart, is actually having to clear out a lot of the repressed emotions and traumas. So a lot of this I couldn't tell you where it comes from, right? I think that's maybe the enigma with emotions, is we don't always know what it pertains to, because when we had the emotion in the first place and we didn't know to express it, years down the line, it gets even more complicated because you just didn't express so many times what was going on. For me anyway, I didn't express so many times what was going on for me. So I can breathe a lot easier knowing that there is a space that we can come to. It's not all completely doom and gloom when it comes to having so much repressed emotions. It does make you feel a bit numb and blocks off your heart. So we're gonna get through that today. Last stream I talked to you about having boundaries, funnily enough. And I think that was necessary to get to where we are today. Because when you have those boundaries, protection there for a reason, you can then begin learning how to open up again. Because the reason you may have got hurt in the first place is because you didn't have boundaries or protection for yourself at whatever stage of life that happened for you. And then you may have created some boundaries, but not necessarily known about that. That's my story. I didn't know that I created so many boundaries. I didn't know that I stopped myself from expressing for like my actual deepest feelings for a very long time. But in the last 5 years, I think I've been slowly but surely going through this healing journey. And I'm just grateful that I can feel the love in this moment. There's been many moments recently where I've been having to go through probably an ego death or some kind of death that doesn't seem logical, just doesn't even make sense actually. Just have to go through it. The only way is through. So like I say, I encourage you to share anything that comes up for you while I speak on these topics. But today I thought it was necessary to talk about how heart blocks, heart struggles, how they look. And basically this is one step ahead. As I said to you, the first step is that when I, in the past, when I struggled with this stuff, I say past just being this morning, just yesterday even, I can't speak, I go numb. So, we're moving on from that today. We're going to go to the next struggle that we want to transform. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay out some things for you that I personally struggle with, that I think maybe some of us more than the rest. I mean, I don't know how many of you will struggle with these things. I've got no idea, but I have a feeling they might be something that a few of you will resonate with and have experienced yourself. And we're going to go through them, these struggles, and I'm going to transform them into successes, into strengths by rewording them. Because, as I said in the last stream, the power of your word can change everything. I don't know if I said that exact thing, but I'm adding to it. It can change everything because we get caught in these language loops and patterns of speaking about things in ways that just keep us locked in that space. So it's gonna be good. I'm excited for this stream with you all today. I'm excited to bring through these good vibes and messages and transformations and real-time healing. This is what it looks like. It can look so different depending on where you're at. So I hope this can be a safe space for you to go through whatever you need to go through. So one of the struggles, heart-opening struggles, that I would say could be, Elizabeth, thank you so much for the 5, my dear. So sound healing, how about we start with that? I'm gonna get my tuning fork for you, and we're gonna start with that before I open up this conversation with you. Something's screaming at me at the moment. My nose is running, my eyes are watering. It's all good. So, thank you. I appreciate that very much, Elizabeth. I'm going to invite you to come into your heart space with this 432 hertz. For the sound healing, it might be a good idea to wear headphones if you have them. Taking the sound a bit more. Coming into that heart center, seeing that green pink energy glow from your heart space, helping you to open to first and foremost your own love, and secondly the love that life has for you. Beautiful. Right. Just going to invite in some fairy energy, fairy magic into the space. Just imagine there being some birds flying around you, and some fairies, invisible fairies around your space. Just tinkering around with some fairy dust, I don't know, whatever you like. Whatever opens your heart space to the magic side of life. Allowing for any emotions that want to come through to come through. There's no use in holding anything anymore. There is a bit of a trauma with some of us where we can't seem to express emotions, but if they do come through, then always allow them to, as much as you can. Try not to hold them or fight them off. So that's fun. I like having something to do that is guided by you. guys and what you'd like to hear and see. So sharpening it's very possible they've been a bit too loud. I didn't check the nature sounds at all. I'm going to turn them off because I think it's probably the best thing to do right now. And apologies if that was like way too loud. Or maybe it wasn't in my headphones, but in yours it may have been. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to take a look here, see what I've missed. Alright, so here is a heart-opening struggle that I've dealt with that we're gonna maybe transform together with some lighter language, with some something that's more truthful and expansive and helps to reframe. Let's go. So here I actually wrote down just before the stream, because I asked my community what it is that you guys struggle with when it comes to heart opening struggles and successes. I didn't see any comments as of yet, so I'm gonna go with mine, and hopefully it's something that the rest of you have experienced at one point and may or may not resonate with. If you don't resonate with this, then that's actually maybe a good thing. But I know that we're all probably in a similar boat with this kind of thing. Car sound. Hi Issa, welcome. Welcome in. I hope you're all doing okay. So one of the struggles that I wrote here with heart opening, and I don't really need to read them, I could make a list of them, but we're gonna stick to the writing. It's gonna keep me a bit more coherent. Realizing, this is gonna be great reading these out, realizing that things I've asked for are already in my life in some way, but I haven't been able to appreciate them because of trauma or numbness and numbness. And this is something I realized yesterday. I was reading some messages from some friends, and it just dawned on me that something that I've been asking for a very long time is already in my life, but I feel numb toward this thing that I've always wanted. And that leads me to think that maybe I just have to open my heart a bit more yet. I'm not saying that we are needing to change or fix ourselves, but it did lead me to think that it's important that I focus on expression of where I'm at, so that these thoughts, these feelings don't build up over time. So now I'm gonna rewrite this and see if I can actually make a bit more sense out of this, actually make something a bit more less in victim mode, or victim mode is not necessarily the word I would choose, because we've all been through something, in our life, and sometimes we have to be able to recognize that it wasn't our fault necessarily, but we can be the one that's in control of our life. We can be the one that is able to rewrite anything that we don't like about how we express or any of that kind of thing. Yes, that's fine, Peggy. The thing is about nature sounds is that you would think they're not copyrighted, but I have a feeling that I might get copyrighted for using these nature sounds because they're not my own, so it's probably for the best. But I will record my own sometime, and then we can play those through stream. That would be nice. But I will play them at the end when we finish this stream to make sure that we come back into nature, a space of nature again, meet with Gaia, and go through that healing process that is available. So, realizing that things I've asked for are already in my life. Alright, so how about I say this? I am grateful for everything I have I'm thankful that everything I've asked, that almost everything, almost everything I've asked for is present with me. Now I get to appreciate them all. Now I appreciate wholeheartedly how lucky and fortunate I am. So if you've just joined and you're wondering what we're doing, here's what you can do with me if you like. I've written down a bunch of heart-opening struggles. There's just many struggles that I've come across when it comes to opening my heart and connecting with life in general. And then on the opposite side of the paper, once I've read those struggles, may or may not read them all out loud. I don't know, we'll see. I know this is a safe place though, but I just, we'll see. On the opposite side, I'm writing down the successes, the strengths that I can choose to feel into now. That is the opposite of this struggle. So I'm flipping it on its head. Anything that causes us pain, we can flip it on its head and see it for what it could be, in the very least. Maybe what it should be, I don't know, but it is scary opening your heart. And it's probably one of the only things that will bring you joy. Because not opening your heart, for me anyway, it feels like it's probably the most painful thing. There's certainly times where you don't want to be too open, because as we talked about before in the beginning of this stream, there's a reason why we may have gone through, like putting on more barriers around our heart than needed, because we didn't know to put those barriers up at the time. And then so we compensated for that later on, and maybe put up too many barriers, closed down the heart a bit too much because of events that happened. So the thing is, what's scarier is to not ever open your heart again. That's definitely more scary than opening your heart, even though both are intense. I'm just pretty sure that it feels better to be vulnerable and to open your heart than to not. So it depends where you're at. I struggle with the heart opening, kept things buried way down for early age. It's only been last few years I've started to work on things. Beautiful. You're working on things. You're going the lengths that you need to go, and that's it. You know, that's all you gotta already be able to congratulate yourself for taking steps to help open your heart, because it is a choice. And the thing is that we can start to blame everything outside of us for our own pain. And in a way, some of it was caused externally, but at the same time, we have a choice. And that's what this is about, is writing down these truths that I've expressed, these struggles that I've expressed, but realizing that they're not the only truth. Another truth is that I can choose to feel differently. And, you know, I can be really stubborn sometimes, and I can just be like, nope, not doing that. And it's not really me that's saying that, it's something else that is hurt that's saying that. As time as it comes up is overwhelming, yeah. I think I'm at a point where I can't try and figure anything out. I just have to keep moving forward, and that's what we're doing. So, sometimes trying to get to the root of something is impossible, I will say, but maybe not impossible, maybe it's possible. I just haven't always been able to do that with everything in my life. I know that that's a big part of therapy, but I haven't always been able to get to the root of things, because it's many things, it's not just one that I may be dealing with in a moment. Excuse me. So yeah, I think we gotta keep it simple, and then when we can go into the complexities, when we're ready, we will. But when things are really tough, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, energetically, keep it really simple. Like I just laid down on my mat today and just went on a little journey just in my ancient house, just going there into the rooms and seeing what I needed from the elements, from the space itself. And it helps me. Going on vision quests really helps me in a way that when I'm really lost or really struggling, it's the only thing that can kind of bring me back again. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't have to keep. But every day I have to go there and do that, actually. And I don't always do that. I have resistance to it, even though it's something that helps me. What's that about? I've got no idea. That's some kind of weird thing. Okay, number 3, the third struggle. I kind of mentioned the first one being that we have protection and guards and boundaries, right? So the third one is when it comes to heart opening struggles. And by the way, at any point, feel free to open the space for sound healing, for light language meditation. I want this to be fun as well as healing, but I don't know if fun can always be in there, but it'd be nice if we could get that kind of thing to happen when we're going through something deep. Just to have a little bit of fun mixed in there, a bit of a giggle here and there. Anyway, so I find it really difficult to open to family and friends like we are on different pages and my emotions are too much. Like, there's so much more that I could probably say there, but I don't think it's necessary. I think that's already a lot. And hi Ram, welcome in. And I think what's necessary with this struggle, because I feel like this is happens to the best of us sometimes, because it just comes out of nowhere, not being able to connect all of a sudden. I think the part with the emotions being too much, not necessarily trusting in someone else to hold that space for us, feeling like they're gonna do something we don't like, then here's what we can do. We can write something else. And I already wrote this one down. Somebody will help me with this one. So to transform this struggle, if this is something you find yourself ever saying out loud or inside your mind, maybe take the moment to write down something for yourself, or to say it out loud, or to think it, or just listen. I find it really easy to open up to family and friends, like we are on the same page, and they will support me with my emotions no matter what. And I think that emotion that's coming through for me is actually the moving out of that stagnancy from the struggle here, the part where I find it really difficult to do what I just said, is coming through and out, so that I can actually find a space in my heart to believe that statement, that I find it easy to open up. And I allow people to support me and my emotions no matter what. That's the first step, is being able to even entertain something like that, because I can think of 1,000,001 reasons as the siren goes by why I shouldn't find it easy to open up, why I shouldn't express my emotions no matter what. But the problem with that is that over time, if you keep telling yourself that, if that's your script, and unconsciously even, the heart, it goes kind of numb, and it's the most painful feeling. Thank you so much, Jayden. I really appreciate that. What would you like? Sound healing? A light language meditation, or a reading? Let me know. Will I have your family to talk to and spend most of it? Stuff I really can't tell them. Most of my feelings just don't seem to make sense to them. Yes, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the fact that is how I've felt on so many occasions, and I don't know if it's something that can be fixed necessarily, where you can change, like, you can't always change that fact, even if you want to. I think all we can really do is change how we react to that fact, and maybe find a way to help ourselves deal with that thing that we would want to tell family or friends about. But that also can happen on the extreme as well. So that's why I really wanted to get on this stream today and talk about this, because feels just about the only place that I can do that, and I'm grateful. I'm really grateful that I can do that with you all here, because I know how different it can be when you have a relationship with someone and you try, maybe you've known them all your life, maybe not, maybe they're new, and you try to express how you feel, and either you can't because it's just not coming out, or maybe they can't hear you when you talk about it, like they heard it but they didn't get it, or they didn't know what you meant. We have communication barriers, right? So I think we have to find a way to be grateful for being able to communicate even just the simplest of things, and not get so, because I have had many expectations over wanting people to understand, and you can't really, it doesn't help to have those things. For me, it never helped to expect anyone to understand what I'm going through. So if we don't expect that, we can maybe let go, surrender to something inside of us that thinks things need to be perfect in order for us to heal. I think there's many ways to heal without things being perfect. There's many ways to find joy or happiness in the middle of things being completely the opposite of perfection. We have a sign in our kitchen that says something like, happiness isn't about the perfection in everything or all things. It's about looking beyond the imperfections. Looking beyond the imperfections is where you'll find it. Alright, light language meditation, beautiful. It's the first time I've really thought to do that. Came through as a bit of a new idea, actually. So, I think maybe what I'll do is just kind of guide you like it is a meditation, just for a moment, and in the middle of speaking English, guiding you in that more coherent space, I'll just allow the light language to come through whenever it wants to. Going into the feet, coming into the stomach, coming into the heart, coming into the head, just feeling those 4 beautiful centers of your body. You can picture your feet as brown or red, having a red colour, just expanding. Coming to your gut, having a yellow colour, just expanding from that space. Coming to your heart, having a green colour, expanding from your heart. Coming to the top of your head and having a purple, pink, white, opalescent orb that begins to cover your body and your space all around you. This bubble is already part of your aura, but until we focus on bringing through these angelic colors, these codes of light, they're maybe able to kind of go a bit dim until we spark them with life and light again from inside, with focusing on the sensation of these colors or the feeling of your heart beating, the feeling of your feet on the earth. Te ana ma eru, te ana ma eru sa heu tua kana ma heu tu. When you send your attention down, offer Gaia, offer the earth something of yours. Just as she's sending you her energy from below into your feet, offer her some respect for the fact that everything that surrounds you has come from the earth. Coming into your gut, feeling grateful for all of the work that your digestive system does for you. Seeing that beautiful bright sun at your center. With this song, this light language song, seeing that sun get brighter, seeing those fires of transformation, just burn up anything that needs to be burned up in your body. Coming into your heart, stepping into that crystalline portal of your heart, being with your heart, allowing your heart to express whatever it wants to express. Giving that green light the space to expand with love. Even in the middle of pain or sadness, it can still expand with love. Just seeing that green light growing, allowing those feelings to be flowing and coming to the head. Seeing that opalescent purple pink light is the key to your expansion, to your consciousness. How you direct that flow from there, from this space. It's really important. This space governs a lot of how we think. It's interacting with our gut, with our heart, all the time. Feeling the bodily sensations that come along with picturing this energy flowing through you. Thank you, Pegasus. Okay, so we're just gonna bring the energy into our hands, into our feet, just wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers, stretching your neck. Maybe just tense a little some of your muscles, just tense them. Breathing in and release. And again, just gonna tense as many muscles as comfortable. Don't strain yourself. As many muscles as comfortable. Just come into your body, just tense and breathe in, hold it. Release it all, let it all go. And one more. Taking a nice deep breath, tensing if you like. Hold it. Release it. Feel into your body. Give yourself a hug if you need it. Give yourself some love. And all the places you feel need it. Glad to share that with you. Thank you. Angels of peace and love. I'm grateful to share in this energy. You're a beautiful light warrior. Just, I love you. Be much more at peace. Understand they're not me. Things aren't always gonna click for them like they click for me. At least they try to be loving most of the time. It's very humble. And from that space, you will always be able to receive the love, because you don't build up expectations or perceptions of what anyone else should be doing. You just let them be, and as you say, they're being loving. That's all you can ask. You know, they're doing their best to be as loving as they can. That's all we can ever ask from someone, even if it's not up to the level we might expect it to be. We have to probably let that go. So I'm with you in real time, Issa, healing that space, because I think we all are healing that space. And it's beautiful. So, that was a quick meditation, but maybe we can do a few more of them. I did like that. It's new for me, opening up that light language space live, but I feel you all there supporting yourself in receiving that. So yeah, heart opening is a strength. Oh boy, is it a strength. But it's also something that we can't live without, because not opening your heart, shutting down your heart too much, too often, is like taking away your life force energy. Can be, depends on the extremeness. So I'm not saying, because we talked about boundaries in the last stream, and those are very important too. So just know that every time I come on these streams, I'm trying to piece together little bits of information, and they don't work without all the little pieces. If you take what I say just in one moment, it won't always necessarily be truthful, unless it's just with anything, right? We all have a piece of the puzzle, and we're trying to put it back together, and that's what learning's all about. That's what learning's all about. Bringing through that fairy energy. Just picturing those fairy wings covering you in sparkle and dust. I really enjoyed it. I'm really grateful to hear that. I'm really grateful. Good afternoon, Mike. Yeah. Much love to you, Symbio. I'm going to go through the rest of these heart-opening struggles with you. So we're on to number 4. Number 4. This is what I wrote down before the stream. If you have a heart-opening struggle you'd like to share with us, maybe it's something someone else is feeling too, and we can transmute it, transform it here and now. It might not change completely. This is a lifelong journey. not just a one-time job, you know. But sometimes when we call in, when we embody ourselves fully, we really can move through a lot. We're really powerful when we are present, I want to say. Silva, hello. Faith Healing Channel. I'm not sure. Number 4, heart opening struggle. It's already changed. Like, this is already the past for me in reading this that I wrote before the stream. So we're going to go through it anyways, because it comes back up again. You know, we go through roller coasters here and there. Things that we thought we healed come back again later on. So it's the cosmic joke of life. And yeah, going through the struggle, transforming it into the strength, we can begin to see again how beautiful this life is. So it's worth it. I'm afraid to open myself up because of what I saw as a kid growing up. So that's a pretty big heart-opening struggle, I think, for a lot of kids, because that's when they are the most open, is when we're young. So if events happened that we can't fully process in the time, in the moment, and by the way, I will do another light language meditation, because Pegasus, I'm guessing you might enjoy that. So we'll save that for after this transformation that we're going to work through, okay? So, I'm afraid to open myself up because of something I saw as a kid growing up. And that's why there's definitely you're always going to be able to find a reason why you shouldn't open your heart up. But now we're going to find reasons why we should as well. Because as long as we balance that, we stay balanced as a person. So, to transform this statement, I'm afraid to open myself up. I'm confident in opening myself up. I'm confident, open myself up because I understand that mistakes happen. No, that's not what I want to say. Because I understand that there is good in this world. That there is mostly good in this world. Mostly good in this world. And life has so much love to give us when we allow for it. And that life has so much to give us when we open, to receive that warmth, that love, whatever you can do to make friends with love, you know, because sometimes it's actually a trigger point. You mention love to someone that's really not able to feel anything. It's kind of like, yeah, well, what is love though? You know, so you just think of something that's really warm. That's the best way I can say that, really. Just something warm, something comforting. Whatever you can do to feel that bit closer to love, to receive that love that people have for you, that life has for you, that you have for you. Sure. We will do a sound healing then. Really appreciate that, Pegasus. So, as we open ourselves to that love, I'll read it one more time. So, the heart opening struggle is, I'm afraid to open myself up because of what I saw as a kid growing up. The heart opening strength and success is, I'm confident in opening myself up. Confident in opening myself up because I understand that there is mostly good in this world and that life has so much to give us when we open to receive that love. I'm confident in opening myself up. Because I understand that there is mostly good in this world. Mostly. And there is mostly good in this world. And that life has so much to give. So much to give us when we open to receive that love. Yahuwah, 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 It's really hard to hold this when you've got sweaty hands, so I wouldn't recommend. Just gotta do a bit of that human stuff. Yanama Sheirutu Ayakanama Esuatanama. Yanama Heshena Yarutu Ashena Mayakuru Sua Meatana Teusuku Amayata Yuta Yuta. I would recommend headphones if you're really wanting to receive the full whammy of sound healing. But it's up to you. gonna actually just do light language activation to help you to open to the truth of the heart-opening strengths and successes that you carry within you moving forward, so that we can go through the rest of these struggles in a way that we know we're transforming them. I think we're already quite open, so I'll keep this short. Just calling. It's kind of like if you just picture yourself in those moments where you're really closed, and allow this sound space to reach that part of you in space or time, in space and time, so that you can always remember this moment moving forward, or you can send this healing into the past somewhere to start again and renew this space of stubbornness that doesn't want to heal, or this space that doesn't want to trust. I'm just going through the 4 elements on my fingers. So the mudra I'm feeling right now is water, which is your baby finger, for me anyway, connected with the thumb. You create this circuit of connecting with the emotions. This could be where some resentment or blockage is, and I'm feeling it in my sacral actually. So I'm going to open that space for any time in the future when we want to connect with life, with people, with places, with ourselves. I'm going to open this space now that allows us to remember that we are safe. That we are loved. And that we are able to share whatever we need to. In any moment, we have that capability of being able to share whatever we're going through emotionally. We have that capability to share, to open, to express. I bow to the divine that lives through all things. And like I said to you, this is an open portal where I, for whatever reason, even though I've struggled many times to get on here, I actually feel like it's one of the only places I've been able to express these kinds of things. So if it seems like don't ever look at someone else and compare yourself in terms of where you are and where they are, because you don't know what goes on behind the scenes, you know, and you don't know what struggles they have, what things they go through. So just be kind to yourself where you're at, and try and catch those thought bubbles that come in and tell you you're not enough, and just pop them. Just pop in all them thought bubbles. Not Not required, not necessary. Nope. Any lack of self-worth, pop it. Any lack of self-esteem, pop it. Just pop that bubble. Any paranoia, just pop it. Anything you don't really want to pull you down anymore. You just no thanks. Oh. All right, we're getting there. We're getting through. I like that sound. Earlier when I was led on the mat here, went on my little vision quest journey, and if you ever want to hear me talk more about the ancient house, because I don't always know if it's the right space to share all of this kind of stuff, because my imagination goes pretty deep, but I've talked about the ancient house before and how I go there for healing. It's this place in my imagination that I created with every room in this house represents an element. The living room is fire. It's really cozy in there. The spa room, bathroom, whatever, is water. The air room is this gigantic library where I can receive information. I can find out what mental struggles I'm kind of dealing with. The earth element is the garden in the ancient house. And the ether room is the space where it's just colours, like just colours in that room, and you can go there and visit past, present, parallel, future, anything. And there's also a space you can go upstairs, you can go down into the subconscious, and it's like my little healing space I like to go to. So maybe to round off this stream, at the end I might take you into one of those rooms in the ancient house, depending on whatever element wants to come through to help us to process anything we're dealing with. But I do actually do one-on-one calls with this kind of thing, because it's going kind of gets to that personal space, you know, where you can go a bit deeper when you're sharing just in that one-on-one sacred space with someone. So I have actually been doing less sessions recently, but just letting you know my space is open. If you want to find out more, you can send me an email about it, synchronicity@gmail.com. But I'll also do maybe a little bit at the end here, because I kind of like taking you through the elements. It's one of my favorite things to do with people. Ever since I learnt about it more in depth with Druidry and just had a nature awakening, I feel like that's the thing that's kept me going, actually. So, yeah. Sure, yeah, I can tell you more about that. So, well, just to tell you a little bit, I first found the ancient house while I was at a job. I was working in Luton, England, and I was at university at the time, and I was working on the weekends in a store called Tiger. And I remember I was stood at the tills, and for whatever reason we just weren't that busy that day, and I was feeling just like bored / just needed to have some fun / kind of anxious, and the idea just came to me. I actually took out some of the little post-it notes we had on next to the till, and I just started writing frantically down all of these little ideas that were coming to me about this ancient house. And was trying to kind of like keep it on the low down, because like, you're supposed to be working, you know. But I just really had to get these ideas out, and that was quite a while ago now. So it took me a long time to build it in space, but it's generally where it depends, but I'll usually take people there, or I'll get them to create their own space like that. Sanctuary, you know, ancient house, castle, whatever you want to call it, whatever you see it as in your head, you can make it. Alright. So we did number 4, now we're on to number 5. The 5th heart opening struggle is, I worry about opening up to people because they might treat me like a therapy patient or have worse problems than me, and so their advice could make my situation worse. So let's transform that. Let's turn this into a strength. Let's turn this into a success. A heart-opening success. So this is what closes down the heart. This belief right here that I just read to you, this definitely closes down the heart. You know, maybe it's necessary sometimes. You may actually be, and again, I'll pull upon the fact that in the last stream we talked about boundaries for a very good reason. You want to balance these things as much as possible and know what your ratio is in any one given moment, because it changes all throughout the day. In one moment you might be like full of heart and you don't even need to think about it, you're just full of heart, you know. Other times it might not be like that, so you kind of have to decide, do I need to invite in a boundary, keep myself and my space protected, because maybe I could be in danger in some kind of way. Usually it's more energetic, but it can be physical danger that could be lurking. Depending on where we are, we can always sense it. We're very energetically tuned in, most of us. Or, and this is what I found on my side of the spectrum, is that there's no danger anymore. I have no physical danger usually around me, but I have a memory of that, and so that memory is still playing through and is still making me think I need to close down, I need to guard that space. So we're going to take this and we're going to flip it, pop it on its head. I'm pretty sure there was a game that had that. It was, I don't know what it's called now, but it's like you'd flip it, you'd pop it, you'd spin it. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Anyways, that was a fun game. That was one of my favorite games in primary school, and people would bring that in for game day. I'm not sure if it was called game day, but you'd bring in your own games from home, and on that day everyone would just play games. I thought that was really cool. That was a cool thing. So I worry about opening up to people because they might treat me like a therapy patient. There's many other ways to word that. Insert in there whatever works for you. You might not worry about feeling like a therapy patient. You might, just struggle asking for help or anything. So we're going to transform this now. I worry about opening up to people. So, okay. I feel good about, hi chickadee, opening up to others because I trust my intuition. Ooh, we're getting into tricky ground here actually, because what I'm about to say is that I trust my intuition to know when it's safe and when it's not. I'm going to roll with that because I trust my intuition to know when it's safe. Bop it. I should get myself one of those, they're pretty fun. And when it's not. But even though I do feel like, hi Skylar, sending you so much love too, my dear. Hope you're well. If you've just come in, we are taking heart closing statements, or I think what I called it was heart opening struggles, and changing them, transforming them into heart opening successes, right? Heart opening strengths, so that we can flip it on its head, transform it in right now, in real time. I feel good about opening up to others because I trust my intuition to know when it's safe and when it's not. So, as I think you can always trust your intuition. I do believe that. One tricky thing about this that maybe I need to clarify actually, because we've hit a road bump, is if you have a habitual, if I have an habitual pattern of thinking a certain way about situations, social interactions, they might be in the background of my mind when I go to try and ask my intuition, is this safe or is this not? And so one of the ways, and actually Skylar has very taught me so much about this, very magical goddess, taught me about opening up sacred space in the moment. Because if you go to ask your intuition, is it safe for me to express this right now? And you don't fully trust the answer, you don't know if you can trust in that moment. If you can call in the angel of love, angel of joy, angel of protection, maybe even kind of see yourself standing in your power in that moment, and maybe even take 5-10 minutes to do this. Just breathe in, hold, and release. Maybe get yourself into a more relaxed, calm space. You can ask this question, or you can set the intention that whatever comes up, you'll trust, because you've set sacred space when asking this question. Now, this takes practice. I'm not saying that, this takes practice is what I'm saying. So, every time you feel unsure about whether you can open up or not, just take 5 minutes. Just center yourself, ground yourself in the presence of whatever makes you feel most comfortable, and then ask again when you're ready. You'll know when the energy's shifted, and when you can ask. Or maybe you won't. It takes practice. So we'll practice that here and now. So, is this statement correct? Let's see. I feel good about opening up to others because I trust my intuition to know when it's safe and when it's not. And the opposite of this was, I worry about opening up to people because they could make the situation worse, or I could make the situation worse. I think you just gotta trust. I think this is, let's make an acronym here, something we can go with. So trust, T. T is for truth. What is the truth of your expression, of what it is that you want to express in this moment? Maybe to be open about feelings. What is the, so next we have, so trust. Let's write this out. R, respect. I'm going to say respect. Respect yourself enough to take your time. I think sometimes I am anyways, in a rush to get better and to be better, and that's not always respecting yourself, because it takes time. You, what can we say for you? Trust, we're thinking of trust here. You is for you, let's just do you. You are your biggest helper, your best healer. But remember, we're opening the heart space so that we can, when we need to, ask for help and express ourselves authentically and honestly. So S, we've got truth, respect, you. Trust the synchronicity. I want to say synchronicity for S, because things will align at the perfect time. Things will align at the perfect time for you, and there won't be any resistance. It will just feel natural. You'll be able to breathe, and it will feel natural. It will feel like the timing is perfect for that thing to occur, whatever it is. And final T. Truth, respect, you, synchronicity. I want to say treat with care. Treat with care. Because it takes time to get to know what's your intuition's voice versus your trauma voice, or your parents' voice, or your just some other voice that maybe isn't going to be able to inform you as well as you can. So truth, open up about your feelings. R, respect yourself enough to take your time. You are your biggest, best healer. Trust in the synchronicity that things will work out in the perfect time, and treat yourself with care. There we go. So that was a little bit extra, another strength we can pull upon for opening the heart. Hi, cul-de-sac man. Got it just in time. Oh, I see. Yes. Okay. I think we're basically where we need to be. If anyone else has... Well, I guess we've touched on a majority of some of the heart closing, restricting kind of energies. So I will open the space to discuss whatever comes up pertaining to heart opening, heart awakening, heart growing, anything like that. I'm just going to actually come in with some sound healing for a moment. So, I think if I was to say that healing is a journey and this stream itself represents just a small little glimpse into that, because I could not hold back the tears when I came onto stream today. And I think that's already step 2. When you can allow for the emotions to come through, you're already a step ahead. I think the first step, the place where the heart is stuck or trapped, is when you kind of feel numb and you can't express and you don't know how to express. Step 2 is you express, but it's probably some kind of emotion that maybe, might make other people feel uncomfortable, but the right people it won't. They'll be able to hold space for you. They'll be able to hold space for you. And the third step would be coming into what I feel now, which is slightly more warmth in my body. I feel like we did something really good today, and that we shared in a healing space. And I feel more connected to you all, and like you're really present in some way or another to this in your own life as well. I'm not the only one. You're not the only one. So I guess with that, with the camera coming off, I'm going to actually take us now on a little journey. Let's see here. You tell me if this sounds too loud. We have some swamp sounds to go along with the aurora ambience. And I don't actually know. I think we are gonna wrap up the stream now. But I will be back. Actually, I'm hoping to stream a bit more often during the weeks. So I'll come up with a topic for us for Sunday or Saturday, we'll see. But for now, we're just going to tap into this, the calm after the storm. Let me know if this sounds okay, this isn't too loud. Alright, very good. What is the best practices for creating a strong heart center? That's a good question. Knowing that you're entitled to experience the best that life has to offer. We all are. And anytime we aren't experiencing something that, or maybe something keeps repeating for us that doesn't feel so good, just reminding us of the fact that life really wants us to be able to experience joy and bliss. And the only thing getting in the way of that is something that we're carrying that we don't need to. Something that we can let go of. Just surrender to stillness within. It might not feel like it's there in the beginning, but you spend enough time there. Allow yourself to slow down, even if it takes an hour for you to do it. Just give yourself that time to rest. Give yourself that time to reset. And breathe. Just breathe. Breathing in. Holding. Breathing out from your heart. Every time you bring through the air, through your lungs, just feel it exiting through your heart, as though you're breathing with the pulse of Gaia. Nature is also, even just looking at these colours on screen and listening to the sounds of nature. If you can't get out in nature, sometimes this is just as good a therapy. Just allow the elements to do for you what you can't do for yourself. Just release all of your heaviness into the coolness of the air, the water, the mountains, and watch as it transforms your pain. The pain you can't carry yourself. Watch as it transforms it into something that is beautiful. Enjoy the rest of your day in whatever way is most scrumptious to you. Whatever gives you the nurture that you've been longing for. Just find a way to give yourself that love, that time, that space to do something magical with your day or night. And I will see you again, friends. Thank you for the donations today. And thank you for the energy and time that you spent hanging out with us all. You are loved very much. Stay peaceful, stay open, and until next time.